Probably in this video we'll be talking about the latest on Victor Gyokeres to Manchester United. There has been some huge developments. We'll be going through the statement released by Sporting's director. We'll also be going through some interesting updates on potential Gyokeres going to Arsenal. We'll have a real conversation about Victor Gyokeres. Now listen, we've seen that statement that has been released by Sporting's director. There was a lot of things going on. He said there were some clauses in the contract with the agent. One of the agent's biggest concerns was whether we would demand a termination clause. Obviously, there was a €100 million release clause in Gyokeres' contract, but the gentleman's agreement with Sporting could not be agreed. And now there are concerns of whether that gentleman's agreement actually did happen. So there's reports about recordings. We'll see if that will be released or not. Now, Sporting would not demand a release clause for now. For one reason, he was going to be 27 years old. No player leaves Portugal at 27 for €100 million or €90 million. I don't know if it will be 40, 60 or €80 million. What I can guarantee that I will not demand $100 million. From then, I never spoke to the agent again. I never spoke to the player about departures or values. Now I see the agent in the press releasing information. I want to make one thing clear. Sporting has common sense and keeps his word. Gyokeres has scored 63 goals and 10 assists, and one of the best strikers. We know that. He said now blackmail and insult Sporting will not accept. One thing is certain, Sporting will not accept 60 million plus €10 million plus €10 million in add-ons. As of today, Sporting has not received any proposal from Gyokeres, for Victor Gyokeres. Now listen, it's getting messy, the Gyokeres situation. We know he wants to join Manchester United, and has had contacts with Ruben Amorim. United desperately want him. Ruben Amorim wants him. It is the number one striker target. Now, this and the Gyokeres stuff has developed quickly. United are having conversations with him. Now, the price is going to be a big issue with the 60 plus 10 not really being agreed. United will now have to generate more money if you want to go and sign Gyokeres. Now, in terms of other news coming in from Portugal as well, Manchester United's linked striker Victor Gyokeres' agent is currently in a meeting with Arsenal. So he will be having proposals and he will be having meetings with other clubs, not just Manchester United. Obviously, we have the strongest interest and we want the player a lot, but other clubs certainly do as well. Now, in the Gyokeres situation, we know Manchester United do want him, and we know it's absolutely important that we want to get our striker. It's going to be heating up. As I said, it's getting messy. Will Sporting let him go? We don't know how much price and how much they will be willing to accept. For me, Victor Gyokeres would be my number one striker target. I think the experience, the goal scoring ability that he has is fantastic. He's worked with Amorim before. It's all about now, would you be able to get him out of Sporting? It is getting messy. We know he's removed the Sporting from his bio, and it is getting messy between Gyokeres' agent and the club. Now, I don't think it's really Gyokeres in there. It's just about the agents. And agents do this all the time. Could it be to spark interest? Could Gyokeres' agent be having this meeting with Arsenal to spark interest from Manchester United and force us to put a bid in? It could be something like that. All we do know at the moment, United obviously focusing on the Mbeumo situation, because that again is a deal that we want to get done. Obviously the transfer window's closed at the minute, but it would be interesting to see what does happen with the Gyokeres situation. As I said, he is a decent striker, don't get me wrong. There's people talking about, like, there's not many. I don't think there's a player who has more goals than him in the last 2 seasons. Yes, he's playing in the Portuguese league, but again, you've got to score goals and goals at the end of the day. He is coming up against lesser opponents, or lesser quality opponents, you can say. But the goals he's scoring on a consistent basis for them are fantastic. Now, as I said, Sporting, the gentleman's agreement, would that be agreed? It is interesting to see. They will not let him go for 60 plus 10, so that would be €70 million, which is around £58 million. That's the price that United wanted to go in for. It probably would be towards 80 now, you're probably looking at. And again, listen, we've seen it literally 2 seasons ago. And I'm not comparing Højlund and Gyokeres, but we spent €85 million on Højlund. Will we have the money to do so? I think it does massively depend on whether we sell Rashford and Sancho and how much we get for them. I think you can get 25 for Sancho. Reports as well suggesting that Real Betis will come back in for a bid for Anthony to see how much you can get for that. So maybe just say you get 25 Sancho, 25 for Anthony, that's 50 million. And you get maybe 40 for Rashford, 40 for Garnacho. That is more than enough money to get Gyokeres. It's just about whether Manchester United will go and do that. Obviously, yes, we have to bring in Mbeumo, and there's other targets that Manchester United want to bring in as well. But it is definitely an interesting conversation. I mean, last week, United were nowhere near linked to Gyokeres. We were sealing the deal on the Mbeumo, on the Cunha situation. We were heating it up and going for Mbeumo. Cunha has entered the party, and I think, Gyokeres has entered the party, and it would be an interesting deal. As I said, we know the quality of striker he is. We know how good he is on the ball. We know what he can do. He's proven that he can score goals. It's all about whether Manchester United will go in and sign him. And as I said, the price seems to be increasing to a gentleman's agreement, which, listen, because we know that last summer Gyokeres had proposals from clubs. I think United were one of them. I think he had multiple clubs in Saudi as well. I mean, you could see a scenario where Gyokeres does go to Saudi, but he wants to stay in Europe, with Osman obviously declining Al Hilal. But yeah, listen, Gyokeres, he had a lot of proposals, but he stayed, and he had that gentleman's agreement. We know there's a €100 million release clause in his contract, but the gentleman's agreement was reached, and now they're saying that never happened. Obviously, in terms of Arsenal, we know his agent's been having that meeting with Arsenal. It will be frustrating if he goes to them, because, listen, I think Arsenal, we know we banter them, but they are a very complete team and are probably only a striker away from really competing for the Premier League. And I think that's something that has let them down. And I think a player of Gyokeres' calibre joining them would be massively frustrating on Manchester United to watch. But that's it on the Gyokeres situation. I'm hoping he wouldn't go to Arsenal. I think his agent will obviously be having a lot of discussions with clubs now that sort of that relationship is fractured, and I think they will be looking to leave Sporting as soon as they can. As I said, I really want Gyokeres. I think you want to get the employment deal done and then move on to the Gyokeres deal. I think that does make a lot of sense, and that's something that Manchester United should do. Again, I want to see outgoings first, though. I want to see Rashford gone. Maybe, obviously, we've got rid of Evans, Lindelof, Ericsson, they've gone. I want to see Sancho go, Anthony go, Garnacho go, maybe even Højlund, and then we can start. We know we got Cunha through the door, and yeah, let's see what happens with that. But listen, thank you for watching. This has been the latest update. Thought I'd have a good conversation about Gyokeres. In terms of other news, we've signed a 16-year-old centre-back from Southampton. Do a bit more research about that. Employment with that deal is happening, or the deal is accelerating. Bamford wants 60 mil and talks ongoing. Manchester United keen to complete the deal. I'm assuming as soon as the transfer window opens after the 16th of June, United will accelerate that deal from Mbeumo to get it done. Cunha, we know he's done, and we'll be travelling to Manchester over the next couple of days to probably do official announcements and videos and all that stuff. Obviously, we agreed the deal there, but now he will be a United player. We'll have a couple of weeks off, and then we'll join at the start of July, probably for pre-season. But yeah, that's the latest. I mean, the Gyokeres situation is heating up. I can't wait to see what happens. I think United will end up signing him, but that's just more of a hope, really, more than anything. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. This has been the latest news. Subscribe, and it's going to be a big summer, as we know. It started off quite well. Let's see if we can get Gyokeres over the line.